And good morning to you. I'm just going to give the title, read the blurb, and then I'll talk about other things. My Most Powerful Workshop Ever is the title that I chose for today's video. And the blurb goes like this. Yes, this past weekend was, for me, the most powerful workshop I have ever experienced. And it is all about experience. Even though I have probably been in 100 or more emotional healing workshops since January 1994, I don't know if I was ever more present than at this one. The funny thing is, I almost didn't go this time. Perhaps that is one of the reasons it was so powerful, coupled with the fact that I was feeling loved more than ever before. When we did the love line, it seemed I was playing different roles with different people. And the connections I was feeling with each one were so much more dynamic for me. My heart was wide open. My inner child was present. I was even in touch more with my own sexuality, although that is not what the workshop is about. It was awesome, even though I felt exhausted by the time it was over, which had to do with getting little sleep 2 nights in a row and no naps. This morning I feel deep appreciation as I reflect on this and all that is happening in my life. I also feel a bit sad that the workshop is over. Ah, human emotions. Indeed. My meeting on Friday night, my meeting on Saturday, and my meeting yesterday was the workshop. It's a weekend event that starts on Friday night and ends late Sunday afternoon, and it is intense. All the workshops are intense, and as I've said, I did my first workshop in January 1994. I didn't know until the day before I did it that I was even going to do it. A friend actually recommended it to me, and the day before it was to begin, there was no planning, no thinking about it. Okay, that sounds like something I'm willing to do, and I did it. And one of the things I got out of it, and I often say this because we talk about when we did our first workshop and what we got out of it, I learned that if I used 4-letter words, God didn't fall off his throne. Because for a fundamentalist Christian to use 4-letter words was a stretch. I had always been taught that cursing is the crutch of an intellectual cripple. And I remember times in my life when I actually cried when a 4-letter word would slip out of my mouth. Happened once in the Army, and I literally went to the side and privately cried because I had done what everybody around me did all the time without even giving it a second thought. But over the years that I have done workshop after workshop, and I actually did the workshop 3 times as a participant, many times as an assistant. I've been co-facilitator, even though currently there is no such role in the workshop as co-facilitator. My friend Margie is the facilitator, and the rest of us are assistants, and we get to go back every month once we've done the workshop and assist if we choose to. And there's always a dynamic that takes place all its own just by sitting and watching the other participants go through their things, because we're all connected and all of our issues are similar, even if not the same. And the names and the dates and the roles may change, but the issues are human issues, and they're all similar. And every workshop is unique in its own way because each of us is in a different place each time we are there. And even throughout the workshop, we're in different places emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. And so every experience is a different experience, a fresh experience, a new experience. And For me, as I said, even though I've done this many times, even though I've been in the love line numerous times, we have love lines pretty much every month at my house. And the love line at my house is different than the love line at the conclusion of the workshop, for the simple reason that the workshop opens people up to experience all sorts of things. I mean, it's like riding on an emotional roller coaster where you get to experience all the different dynamics of being human. And not only do you experience, you get to witness other people experiencing it, and their experience rubs off on you and affects you. And it's a dynamic, it's a living dynamic, just like life. It's a microcosm of life itself. And it's amazing. Everything from dysfunctional families to ecstatic moments of bliss and joy. And you would get to experience it all. And people think, well, I don't need to do any work on myself, so I don't need to do the workshop. And I was in that place on this past week. And for the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking, I don't get very much support in my local community. I mean, I have people all over the world that love me. And people in my own community, even people that I'm close to, don't get my mission. They don't understand what I'm doing. They don't understand the importance of what I think is important. And I'm unable to convince them that hey, you need to be on my team. And some of the people that are close to me say, I don't want to be on your team. That's not my mission. That's not my, I love you, but that's not where I am. That's not my job. And anyway, I was feeling really, really like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to sit through another weekend with people that aren't giving me support? So I asked Margie, I said, who's doing the workshop this time? And she went down the list of people that she had. And one of the ladies that was doing the workshop has been at my home a number of times. She's in a nice, solid relationship, but I feel an attraction to her. And I thought, well, that's worth going just to watch her go through her process. So I said, okay, I'm going to go, Margie. Because I wanted to see this lady that I'm attracted to, even though there's no possibility of a relationship there. And my relationship needs are perhaps being met. You know, well, not all of them. But I am being loved. I am allowing myself to feel love and to be loved, and to have pointed out to me how many people love me around the world. And even though I don't have that in my immediate life, I'm opening myself up to allowing. And that's what doing the workshop is. It's allowing. That's what life is, for God's sake. It's allowing. It's allowing yourself to participate in something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Because we all know that life is literally like a roller coaster. It's like a ride in an amusement park. You go round and round and up and down, and you experience this person and these feelings and that feelings, and you go through this set of belief systems and those thoughts, and my God, it's a journey. It's a journey, and the workshops are a microcosm. They were developed in Ted Danson's studio in Hollywood, California, when Ted Danson and other actors who had played roles for a long time were getting lost in their roles, and they realized they needed to learn to get in touch with their authentic self and to experience the dynamics of life, who they are, and take their masks off and stop playing their roles. And yet, even when we stop playing the roles, we're still playing roles, because human experience is about roles. We have the role of lover, the role of mommy, the role of daddy, the role of child, the role of teacher, the role of pupil, the role of boss, the role of the employee, the role of this and the role of that. We all play roles. And for me, in the love line, I found myself, sometimes my inner child was there. And the innocence, just the innocence that I was able to look into the soul through the eyes of the other person. touching their heart space and feeling them. And sometimes I'd say, will you smile already? You're so serious. And then the message would come back to me, and who needs to hear that? I thought I was giving it to the other person, but I was giving it to me. I was giving it to me. And it was funny because I matched up with one of the gentlemen that was at the workshop this weekend, and the words were saying, "Goddess, you are." And I reach over with my finger on his heart and I stroke his nipple, and he strokes mine, and we giggle, we're laughing. And I can't do that with the ladies, mind you, but I was comfortable enough, this homophobic male, to do it with my friend standing across from me, whom I've done many workshops with. He was there as an assistant, not a participant. If he was a participant, I would not have done that. But it was playful. There, that moment was a playful moment for me. And other moments were playful. I saw myself pushing on the swing and being pushed and going on the thing that you push around on the playground, and you'd make it spin faster and faster. And, various experiences of connecting with people and realizing, hey, now I have this hat on, then I have this hat on. And the very final person in the love line was someone I had never met before. Never met in my whole life. They didn't even live around here. They don't even live in Florida. They had flown in from another place to do the workshop, just to do the workshop. And it's the youngest person in the whole room. And I fall into her eyes. And oh my God, I was seeing her with my third eye, and I could see her third eye, and it was like our third eyes were touching each other. And we were melting into each other, and we were recognizing, hey, we've always known each other. I mean, we've always known each other. I was seeing her angel. I'm realizing I'm an angel and she's an angel, and man, we've existed forever. And it was orgasmic without it being sexual. Although, my body was feeling sexual, which I think it's only happened actually one or possibly two other times in all the workshops I've ever done that I actually got a little bit turned on. But it's not about sex. You understand? It's not about sex. It's about being present with yourself and allowing yourself to be present with another self, standing across from you, looking into their eyes and feeling their soul and touching their heart space and being willing to be vulnerable in that moment of time. And everyone is different because every person is in a different place, and you are in a different place with each person. And it's always a unique experience. Sometimes you're not there. Sometimes you're stuck in your head trying to figure things out and trying to recreate something that you felt once before, and you're wondering why you can't recreate it this time, because this is a new moment. It's a new now, and you're in this now. And you feel it, and you feel it, and you experience it. And this is what life is. And this is what the workshops give us, a microcosm to experience life and all of its dysfunctional and functional realities and illusions and everything else, and all of the feelings that go along with it, and the thoughts and the judgments of going into our higher self and listening to the higher self, and then hearing the voice of the critic, and dealing with these voices that speak to us all the time. And sometimes we think the higher self speaks with the voice of the critic, and they have the same voice. These are revelations. These are aha moments for me. And I see it happening with somebody else. But what's it about? Everything that I perceive in someone else is not about them. It's about another aspect of me. In lak'ech, you are just another me. Namaste, the light that I see in you, I honor. I honor that light. I honor that divine. I honor that humanity that I see in you. It's my humanity. It's my divinity. It's me. It's just another me. I had an amazing weekend. And yes, I feel a little bit sad that it's over. But I also feel loved because I'm allowing people to connect with me, or I'm allowing one person who has read my poetry, who's gone onto my website and gotten to know me. One person has gotten to know me and helped me open my heart and pointed out how other people love me and how she loves me. And sometimes we get so stuck in our head that we're not willing to love. But I'm willing to love and be loved. Whatever that means, whatever the future holds, whatever the roles we play, just allow life to be experienced, and stop making up so many rules, and stop listening to the voice of the critic and the voice of the fear that says, you don't need this, you don't need to do it with other people, you don't need to be vulnerable, you don't need this, you don't need that. We don't need anything except to accept life. Except to accept life on its terms, with all of its idiosyncrasies, all of its paradoxes. We just simply accept life. And we get sometimes very pleasantly surprised by what happens. I know I did this past weekend in the most powerful workshop I've ever experienced, because I've never been ever before in the place I was this weekend. Thank you for letting me share this experience with you, and take it where you wish to take it. Bless you, and namaste.